Now. Hello everyone. I am successfully live at 3 p.m. Today as planned, which is quite an achievement, trust me. It's been a bit of a manic day, but really lovely to be here, and I'm kind of excited about our little session today. So I hope you're all going to get something out of it, whether you're looking at this kind of now or later. And so yeah, we're kind of still, just as a general overview, we're still gearing up for Boris's date of the 12th of April to get the clinic back up and running, like the new t-shirts, get fresh at 193 Whitecross Street. And yeah, all being well, that's kind of the plan really. So we're really looking forward to welcoming back all of our usual practitioners. So, you know, we're kind of skin and, you know, all the different aspects of health essentially. So today what we were going to do, just checking, I'm trying to simultaneously go live on Instagram, so just checking that's okay. Today what I wanted to do was to introduce you to one of our practitioners. Hello Melissa. And her name is Maxine Buckley, and Maxine is a hypnotherapist, which I feel like is probably not that well known about as a therapy. I think people think about Paul McKenna, which I know Paul McKenna does kind of the lifestyle-y, for want of a better word, stuff, but I think people often associate hypnotherapists with like showbizy kind of, you know, just pretend kind of things, when actually it's a therapy, as we're about to discover, to help us with really kind of everyday issues and problems. Boy, if this isn't an era when we all have issues and problems, I don't know when it is. So anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, and I am going to try now, hopefully, the power of technology, yay, to get my screen shared. So this is Maxine Buckley. So Maxine, hello, and thank you ever so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's really, really nice to have you here. And yeah, I think it's kind of really good timing. I mean, I'm guessing that you're probably fairly busy at this point in time. I mean, you know, I hate all the cliches, but it has been hard. It's this, you know, this lockdown has been particularly difficult. I mean, I do feel like there's a sense of optimism now, but we're probably still, you know, a lot of us I know are in kind of bad habits because we've just had to sort of get through it any way we can, and perhaps now is a time to start thinking about a rebirth and sort of getting back to normal, and perhaps binning off some of those bad habits that aren't really helping us that much. I was kind of saying that I feel like hypnotherapy might be a little bit misunderstood, or not understood.
Yeah,
so I wondered if you could maybe start by telling us what kind of things do you actually do, and what kind of things do you actually help with?
We help with so much with hypnotherapy. So it can be anything from your habits, you know, getting rid of stopping the smoking, whether that's cannabis or tobacco. Obviously, alcohol is a really massive one at the moment, which we'll discuss further on. I also see people with a lot of trauma. So if they've got trauma, whether that's, you know, little traumas that's been building up, or huge trauma, whatever that is, we release it and get rid of it. I also, all of my clients, no matter what they come for, will have confidence and put in some positivity. And even if you're a really confident person, we always put a little bit of confidence along the way. It's always nice. I get rid of anxiety. I can help with things like irritable bowel syndrome. There's other things that we can help with, that we can get rid of fears, phobias like fear of flying, other phobias. I stop gambling, other addictions like that, behaviour addictions, shopping. Is quite a common one. Gambling is very, very common. The drinking one has been really, really key in the last year or so. where people are just getting out of hand with their drinking habits, and it's mostly women. It's mostly women that drink too much.
Maxine, I'm really sorry to interrupt you. Can I ask you to turn your audio down a little bit, because I think it's coming through, just to see if that improves your volume.
That sound better?
Hopefully, that's one of the that's a comment. So, a lot of the issues that you've just mentioned, I would say, are probably things. Just sort of talking to my own bunch of friends and even some clients, there are things that we talk about, but they're kind of embarrassing, aren't they? Like, to say, I mean, we were talking earlier, just to sometimes say how much you're drinking. Or, if you are kind of shopping, whatever it is. I think, do you feel like is there a sense of embarrassment when people talk to you about stuff like that?
Absolutely. I have clients that message me or phone me, and we start talking about, they say, I drink too much. And then when I say, well, how much are you drinking? It's all a bit like, well, it's like, don't seem that bad. And the average person, I have to say, is drinking about 2 bottles of wine every night.
Right.
And that's my average client, is drinking 2 bottles. Sometimes 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. Or they might even have something else. They might even have gin with that during the weekend. They've got into that habit of drinking far too much.
And I'm guessing these are people that are like living functional lives. It's not like,
We're not talking about alcoholics.
No.
We're just talking about where it gets a little bit out of hand. You start off thinking, I'll just have a couple of glasses, and then it goes to a bottle, and then you think, oh, should we open the next bottle? And it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you've done 2 bottles, and you get used to it, and it becomes a habit. And most of my clients will say it's become such a habit. As they walk in the door from work, or they put their tools down if they're working from home, they go, right, now it's time, that 1 o'clock time, I'm going to go, right, can I have a glass of wine before I start cooking dinner? Or whatever they're going to be doing, and then they carry on drinking and drinking. And you get so used to it, but you forget that actually you've been drinking a lot, and you look at how that can affect your health in the future.
Yeah.
And I always say to clients, think about how many bottles of wine or how many glasses of alcohol you've had for the last 2 weeks. And then just put all of those on a table and just look at them. Think about that on a table, and then think, you're going to then do that again over the next 2 weeks and the following weeks after that, and accumulate all those bottles and think how much that comes to, and what kind of damage you're doing to your entire body.
I think that kind of facing up to it is the bit where perhaps a lot of people brush it under the carpet. Do you perhaps say, or instead of saying I had 2 bottles last night, it'll be, oh, I was a bit naughty, I had a couple glasses more than I should. And I guess sort of acknowledging is probably perhaps the first sort of step to then doing something about it.
Yeah, definitely. Just changing those habits. And some of my clients don't want to give up completely.
Right.
They just want to cut back. And that's fine. We'll just get them to cut back. So instead of having, say, 2 bottles of wine, I'll just say to them that I want to just drink 2 glasses. So they'll go, after 2 glasses, I want to go, right, no, I've had enough, I'm not going to drink anymore. And we can do that as well. Just cut back and say, this is enough for now. Or to cut out during the week. I won't drink Monday to Friday, I'll just drink at the weekends. Treat it like it's a treat. I'm just going to treat myself to a couple of glasses of wine instead of I drink wine all the time. And most of my clients start noticing the difference. They start feeling a lot more alert. They start feeling healthier. Women tend to find that their eyes and around the eyes, the skin is a lot better because it's not so dehydrated.
Yeah.
And we know these things, but it's just once you stop, that's when people start to notice how the benefits of not drinking. But we also look at the financial side of things. So we just kind of look at how much you're spending. Well, if you're having an expensive bottle of wine or whatever,
right?
How much have you spent that month? And what would you like to spend that money with? So what I do is, if you want to give up drinking completely, and say, right, well, that's some of the things we can put in, not just your health reasons, but say, right, I'm going to be saving X amount of money per month. and what you want to do with that money, or what you could do with that money. So we kind of look at it from all aspects, and even buying. So I've even had clients that have said they get their alcohol from their weekly shop when they go wherever they're shopping. But I get them to walk past the aisle so that they don't actually go down the aisle anymore. They won't buy the drink in the first place.
That's amazing. So you're talking about, which I think is really interesting, not necessarily, you don't need to want to stop completely. So I've got somebody who's commented to say she would love to learn how to say no to glass number 3, because it's that one that leads to glass number 10, which I think is a very good summary of drinking, and I would agree with that.
Says to me, they go, I just want to drink normally 2, 3 glasses tops, and then I just want to go, no, that's it. And that's exactly what hypnosis does. And because with hypnosis we deal with the subconscious mind, and all of your subconscious mind programs, all of your programs, all of your habits, everything that you do comes from the subconscious mind. So once we change those habits and reprogram them, your subconscious mind wants to help you. It wants you to be healthy. So what it'll do is it'll just change those habits so that you don't drink all at once. It'll be like, I really can't drink any more than 2 glasses or 3 glasses, whatever you want. And the same happens when I see people for sugar. You know, it'll get to the point where they go, I can't eat more than 2 biscuits because I would feel physically sick. That's what will happen if you've been eating, say, a packet of biscuits. Like, you just can't eat no more. The same will happen with the wine and the alcohol. You'll get to the point where you just go, I really can't. You'll be hypnotised to say, I can't drink no more. I don't want it anymore. I don't need it anymore. I've even had one particular client who wanted to drink gin and get absolutely smashed with her friends at the weekend, but during the week she just didn't want to drink any wine.
Okay.
That's fine, that's what she wanted. It's your mind, you can have whatever you like. It's making that decision. And then I often get people that give up or cut back on alcohol, and then they go, I now want to give it up completely. That's quite common as well.
So how do you, and obviously we're not going to do this right now, but what would if somebody was coming to see you or somebody was wanting to see you about kind of cutting down on their alcohol intake, what would that, I mean, I'm sure it's different for each person, but in as much as you do this over Zoom, I would imagine in this time set, kind of how many sessions would they possibly have? How long would the sessions last? And do you kind of give them home? Like, what would they expect it to have? What does it look like?
If they want to give up drinking, it's normally 1 session.
Wow.
And 1 session, which normally lasts about an hour, hour and a half tops.
Wow.
And in that time, we'll stop them from drinking or cut back on their drinking. I normally give them a few days to let the dust settle to see how they're getting on, depending on what their habits are. So if they're drinking every night, we normally give it about two or three nights to see what's happened. And then after that, I give them a call and see what's going on. And then I'll do them a short recording, which is normally about 10 minutes. And that'll just reinforce, or if they feel like they fell off the wagon, they've got that backup. I mean, there's always going to be those times where you have like a bit of a dark moment, or you've had something's gone on, you've had a row with your boyfriend or your partner or whatever it is, or you've had a bad day at work and you think, I've overdone it, or you've gone to a party, you've drank too much. Then you think, oh, now I've come off the bandwagon, how am I going to get back into not drinking? Well, you just listen to the recording that's yours and it's personal,
right?
And that keeps you back on track. But most people don't. Once they cut back, they don't tend to, go mad again.
And do you find that people replace it with a different bad habit?
I do have clients that say that they're worried about, having a different habit. We can put in things like drinking herbal tea, or you drink more water. We can change that. So that if you've got that routine and you want to just change it, then we can do that as well. I do that sometimes with sugar. So if they're eating, say, a cake of an evening or biscuits in the evening, we can change it. So instead of that, you'll choose a better snack, or you'll just drink water. You won't have a snack at all. It's really bespoke. It's really up to you what you want. You make the decisions, not me. I can say to you, it would be quite a good idea if you drank more water You can put that in as a suggestion, and you'll do that instead. The same with eating habits. You'll just change for what you're changing as something else. So that's not a problem at all. If you want to completely stop, that's absolutely fine as well.
Yeah.
It would be natural. It's a natural thing. It's not like you've got to really think about it. You just go, I just don't do that anymore. I don't drink that, or I don't eat, or I don't smoke anymore. Whatever it is that you want to give up on.
I'm guessing one of the most important elements of coming to see someone like yourself is that you really want to do it. It's not something that you can do because somebody else wants you to do it. Would that be fair?
That's really important point to make, because some people think you can just get this magic wand and go, there you go.
Right.
Ta-da, you're no longer a drinker. If you don't want to do something, you won't do it. It's that simple. You've got to want to give it up. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. So if you're really loving smoking or sugar or alcohol, if you're really, really enjoying it and you don't want to give it up, or quite often clients that come to me and say, oh, my husband thinks I should give up, or my wife or my partner or whoever it is wants me to give up. That's no good. It's got to come from you. It's got to be you that wants to give it up. It can't be, I'm doing it for someone else, because that's not right. The same happens with weight loss. You've got to be able to, if you want me to help you with weight loss, it's got to come from you. You've got to want to lose the weight. You've got to want to give up the chocolate, the crisps, the snacks, the alcohol, whatever it is, for your own good, not for someone else. It has to be your motivation. And that's another thing we put in motivation, so that you feel motivated to do the things that you're not motivated to do.
And the actual process of hypnotherapy itself, again, I think perhaps that people have, an image of being tricked into some kind of weird subconscious where you're there, like you see on TV, people being made to like hop around and bark like a dog, or do stupid things like that. So the actual process itself, tell me a bit about kind of what actually kind of happens and how that feels, and what to sort of expect if I was going to come
expect.
Yeah.
With clinical hypnosis, it's nothing like stage. You'll be fully aware of what I'm saying. You'll be talking back to me. I'll be asking you to do certain mind exercises, which are really, really easy. You'll be doing them, and I'll be saying to you, have you done that? You'll be like, yes, I've done that. You'll be fully aware of the noises around you, totally, totally aware. It's like a daydream, but I'm guiding you. It's like a guided daydream. So that moment where you drive your car from A to B and you can't remember how you got there?
Yeah.
It's like that. You're in that really nice sort of your own little world, but I'm there with you, guiding you and doing stuff. The suggestion part of it can be a little bit repetitive. You'll be listening to me thinking, God, she just said that. And that's just catching them. And you can just drift off into your own little world. You can go and have that walk in nature, or you can go and think about what you're going to have for dinner or what you're doing tomorrow. It doesn't matter, because your subconscious mind is always open to listening. It's listening to what I'm saying. But with hypnosis, it's just a very, very relaxed state. You're totally aware. If you meditate, it's very similar to that, where you're just relaxed. But you'll be totally aware of what's being said. And after hypnosis, we discuss it. Well, we did this and we did that. How did you get on with this? And whatever process goes on, you'll know exactly what went on. You may drift a little bit deeper, and you'll go, oh yeah, I forgot you did that. But that's okay, because as soon as I've said it, a bit like a dream. When you have a dream and then you think, later on in the day, you think, God, that in that dream I had last night.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that sometimes with hypnosis. I'll say to you, this happened, and you go, oh yeah, I forgot about that bit. And you lose time. That's the amazing part. I have people that come out of hypnosis and I'll say, how long have you been in there for? And they go, oh, a minute, couple of minutes, maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And they haven't. They've been in there for half an hour.
Wow.
So that's where you just lose time. Like if you had like a little day nap.
Yes.
You might just drift off.
Yeah.
And you wake up and you think, oh God, how long have I been asleep? It seems like a few minutes, and you haven't. You've been there, maybe an hour or so. And that's what hypnosis is like. But you're fully aware of what's being said. And I can't make, like I said, I can't make you do anything you don't want to do.
And do you do it but via Zoom or, via...
Yeah,
do you do it like
I see clients through Zoom all over the world.
Okay.
It's just the same as face-to-face.
So I'm guessing for them, they just need to have a quiet space and a comfortable chair and...
Yeah, that's all.
A phone or whatever.
Exactly it.
Yeah.
Just somewhere comfortable. The noise thing doesn't bother me because I've hypnotised people in the middle of a pub before. As you do.
We'll have to try that out sometime.
Yeah, definitely. Just when you want to give up drinking, we'll take you to the pub.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not worried about noise, but if you want to feel relaxed and calm, most people want to be, where there's not so much noise going on. And there are times where I've got cut off, and that's absolutely fine. You just come out of hypnosis, you switch back on, and then I'll take you back into hypnosis. And most people, once you come out of hypnosis and go back in, you tend to go a lot deeper anyway. So that's never a problem. With Zoom, it's no trouble at all. We'll just be chatting like we are now, and I'll just hypnotise you.
And if I was seeing you as a client in terms of, if I was telling you about issues that I was having around alcohol, whatever it might be, is that something that then remains between us? Is there any...
Yeah.
You don't have to tell my GP or anything like that?
God, no, it's totally confidential. It's totally confidential, and things that if you're having other issues, then it's always good to tell me anyway, because with people that are drinking too much, that can suffer with anxiety or not sleeping very well, and sometimes they don't relate the two.
Right.
So, and I'll say to them, you will sleep better once you cut out the drinking, and we can often do a secondary gain. So, say for example, you are suffering with sleeping issues, or you want to drink more water, or you want to be motivated to exercise, or whatever it is, we can put in that secondary gain as well. So, for example, I've recently had a lady who gave up smoking, but she wanted to go out running, and we put that in as a secondary gain that she would run frequently.
Right.
And then I spoke to her about a week later, and she was like, "Yeah, I've been running, I've been exercising, and not smoking."
Fantastic.
So the same with alcohol. We can just change. We can put in a secondary gain.
Yeah. Your sessions, are they always one-on-one, or are there group sessions as well? Is it very kind of a personal thing that you just do one-on-one?
I do one-on-one. I have done group sessions, but they're generic, so they're not so personal.
Yeah.
So I think from a personal one-to-one, you're going to get more out of it. Because, like, say, for example, I had a lady who was drinking too much Coke. She was drinking too many cans of Coke and Kit Kats, and she wanted to stop those. So we just stopped those, but not anything else. And the same with drinking habits. You may say, well, I'm drinking too much Monday to Friday. And I go, okay, well, let's stop that Monday to Friday. And they might say to me, well, I want to feel a bit more confident or be motivated for whatever reason. Then we can put in those secondary gains. So then you're better off with a one-to-one. But occasionally I do groups, but it's just not as bespoke, obviously, because you're not going to get as much benefit. It'll be you're giving up drink completely.
Yeah. And I guess, have you got any kind of generalised advice that you can give someone who's sitting there thinking, I wish I could, like, with regards to alcohol, as that's what we're kind of focusing on today.
With alcohol, I would say mostly about your health, and look and think, can I carry on drinking this amount of alcohol? I think that's got to be key. Can I carry on drinking this much over the next few years? If I've been drinking far too much over the last few years, can I do that over the next few years? And how will that affect my health long term? Because quite often with alcohol, we don't see what it's doing to our insides. We might really think that our skin's dehydrated but you think, oh, I'm getting like that because I'm not getting older or whatever reason. But it's the liver, it's the heart, it's everything else that the alcohol does to you, the detrimental effects to your health.
So it kind of sounds like your advice is trying to really encourage people to, I suppose, challenge themselves a bit more and face up to, rather than kind of glossing over it, which I guess is difficult. And it's, I guess, when we're sort of stuck in that predicament, that is the problem, isn't it? That we sort of try and brush it under the carpet a little bit. But I think you're in as much as the damage it does, I'm certainly aware from a kind of nursing perspective that, there are, not that I'm condoning it, but there are people that get away with smoking their whole lives, and for whatever reason, it doesn't. It's a minority, and I'm not saying, hey guys, I'm not saying to go out and smoke, but alcohol, actually, that doesn't happen. We know that alcohol really does affect the liver, and the long-term effects of it happen to everyone. There aren't really people who get away with it as such. So it's just, I guess, trying to kind of confront that and do something about it. And I do, at the moment, it's just tough, isn't it? Because I think there's all this layering of anxiety and stress because of the way that we're living, and then there's also a layer of boredom on top, isn't there? Because you can't, there's nothing you can do in terms of just general sort of downtime and entertainment. I mean, we joke about, oh, it's your birthday, what are you doing, going for a walk? Oh, it's your anniversary, what are you doing, for a walk? But that's part of it, isn't it? I think pure boredom is driving people to drink.
And also, because if you've got you haven't got to be up so early in the morning, or you've got to take your children to school, or whatever it is that, that you're not, your routine's all out, and you think, well, might as well.
Yeah.
What else am I doing? Yeah. It's almost like an excuse, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, I'm not working tomorrow. I haven't got my schedule's not as normal, so I might as well drink. Yeah. So it is changing, and I think that's the problem that I've been seeing over the past, I would say the last 6 months, is people that said to me, the drinking's got out of hand.
Have you had more
people last March?
Have you had more people reaching out to you over this period of time for that reason specifically?
They've said to me, I started, in the first lockdown thinking, whatever, I'm going to drink. Yeah. And then it's carried on.
Yeah. It starts as a sort of a fun thing, and then it's not like fun.
Novelty, and then it's got out of hand. And I think one of the other things that should be mentioned is, is family, hereditary. I know it doesn't seem to be hereditary with drinking, but if you are around a lot of other alcoholics, or it's quite acceptable that, that you're from a family of alcoholics. I know this because I'm from a family of a lot of alcoholics. They drink a lot, and it seems to be absolutely okay to say that. People go, oh, have a drink, you deserve it. That's like, we live in that kind of culture. Whereas, like with smoking, you encourage someone to smoke. Yeah. We tend to encourage people to drink. It's acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't dare say, but you wouldn't say to someone, go on, have a fag.
Yeah.
Or have a joint, or have something to smoke. And I think, it seems acceptable in all walks of life to drink alcohol.
Definitely, and I think even like for myself, I don't come from a family of alcoholics, but I'd say drinkers. And even today, funny enough, my mum today was like saying, and she's like 86 with dementia. Oh, we should have had a bit of brandy in our coffee. And I was just like, it's like 11 o'clock. I think we'll be all right without it. But it is very much. My background is very much a drinking kind of culture, so I'm quite aware of that in my own life, that it's really normal to, if I'm going out for dinner, it's almost like it wouldn't even cross my mind not to have wine, that's just what I do. So and I guess for other people who don't come from that background, they would probably sit there and think, do I actually feel like wine, or do I feel like water? They'd make that choice, wouldn't they? Whereas
and it is making that choice. And that's what hypnosis can do, is you can just go, my choice is not to drink today. Yeah. But I might drink tomorrow. I might not. But if I can, it's a take it or leave it, and that's where people go wrong. And also, I think another point is where I have people that have got children, and they've said to me, their children are getting to teenage years, and they realise that it's okay for mum and dad to drink, but what example are you showing your children?
Of course, yeah.
You're encouraging them that it's perfectly acceptable to drink 2 or 3 bottles a night, and then your children think that that's okay as well.
Yeah.
I'm not judging, because I just think there's nothing wrong with having a glass of wine or a few glasses of wine, but it's how you portray yourself and how if you want to make changes. And these are the sort of things we look at. We look at your environment, where you're going to, the years ahead, and how that's going to affect you.
Yeah. That's great. That's really interesting. And I really like the approach that it isn't about stopping, and it sounds like it's very much kind of led by your client, or whatever you call them, your patient.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And in terms of their goals and what they want to do, not what you think that they should be doing.
Oh, I don't care. It's not my mind, is it? It's not
my
body.
Yeah.
It's up to them. It's their choice. And I don't care if they're drinking, 3 bottles of wine a night. That's what's happened. And we can just go, if you want to drink just 1 bottle, then we can change it.
Yeah.
And if you want to give up completely, that's fine. And the same goes with any kind of habit that they may have. Or I think that the wine is there to, or alcohol is there to relax them. And it may, that first mouthful, that first glass might just take the edge off of it. But then once you get over that, is it doing any more?
Yeah. Yeah.
Drinking after you've drunk a bottle.
Yeah, how much more relaxed
or
can
how
you
much
get?
are you really enjoying? Because I've had clients that have said to me, oh, the first glass of wine, I really enjoy it. I love that. And then afterwards, I'm just doing it out of habit. It's just like, oh, I'll just carry on now.
Yeah.
And they're not really enjoying it. They're just doing it out of habit.
Yeah.
Or sometimes under pressure.
Yes. I mean, there's lots of different levels to it.
There's so many reasons.
Yeah.
And it's really, what suits you. It has to be your decision if you want to do hypnosis.
I mean, definitely in a social environment, there is that level. And I've heard people talk about that before, like, drinking because, and I've certainly done it myself, I know, where you feel like you should be drinking because that's what's expected of you and that's what other people want. And it's a bit like, oh my God, you're not drinking, that's boring. Like, you're going to be boring tonight, are you? And but we've got all that to come, haven't we? Because at the moment we're just stuck indoors.
But I also put that in as a suggestion. You'll go out and you'll feel content with not drinking. And when people say anything, you're going, well, actually, I've really enjoyed myself, and how good it feels to leave the pub, the club, the restaurant, wherever you are, going, oh, I'm actually sober and I've had a nice time.
Yeah.
So
and that very smug feeling in the morning when you're like, feel pretty good.
If that's what you want to, if that's what you want.
Like I say, I really like that approach because I do think, and again, especially at the moment, there is so much pressure on what people should be feeling and what they should be doing, and I am a believer in, don't add any more layers of guilt and shame and all of that kind of stuff on top. If what you're doing at the minute is getting you through, then go for it. If what you're doing is actually deep down making you miserable, then that's different, and that's what you need addressing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And if you just need that, that boost, that confidence boost, then I'll always put that in as well. Just feeling a lot more positive, and I think there's a lot of people that are not feeling quite so positive and carrying on drinking. So if they want to cut back on their drinking the alcohol, and then feeling much more positive or motivated to do other things, or whatever it is, whatever you want to do, the hypnosis you can have what you want.
I think that's really true. I do think alcohol does steal your motivation to a degree, it's a good time to, like I said at the start, I think, to start kind of thinking about getting that back, you know, going into this kind of roadmap out of the lockdown. Hopefully it's going to be a really positive little era for us, even if it's only a couple of months before the winter hits. But I feel like a real sense of we all need to kind of grab it and own it and enjoy it, because we've had such a tough time, haven't we, all in our individual ways. So I feel like it's hopefully a really kind of positive time that's coming to us now, and it's about taking ownership of your experience and making the most of it and going for it, and you know, enjoying life, and getting rid of the habits that make you feel bad, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. Changing habits. I think, like I said, being positive and being motivated, having a fresh start. It's almost going to be like a new year.
Fresh.
That's what it's like. They just like get a fresh start and be a new year, so that we can, you know, move forward and feeling healthier and happier.
So, Maxine, if anyone out there felt like they resonated with some of what we've talked about and they wanted to get in touch with you, what would be the best way for them to do that? What's the easiest way to get in touch with you and just see if
they can message me here on Facebook
okay.
or Instagram. They can message me, or a good old-fashioned phone call. Or if they put in comments below, that's absolutely fine. I'll and tag me in it, then I can message them back.
And if they want to line up something to see you, can they get in to see you reasonably quickly?
Yeah, great. Yeah. I work during the week, evenings, weekends.
Perfect.
Whenever they want. So try to be as flexible as possible.
Fantastic.
With seeing clients. But if they've got any questions or anything that they're not sure about, or they just I normally do like a 30-minute consultation over the phone. We just discuss what their requirements are, what they want to do, or anything that they're not sure about when it comes to hypnosis. Then we can discuss it and see if it's right for them. It's not right for everyone.
Right.
You have to be in the right frame of mind. You want to decide that it's for you. That's the most important. You, not someone else. And I can't make you do anything you don't want to do.
Great.
And that's important, definitely. It's not a magic wand. You've got to be like ready.
Yeah.
To give up, if that's what you want to give up. Give up alcohol or cut back.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I think that's been really useful, really interesting. And thank you ever so much for giving up your time to come and tell us a bit about the mythical therapy that you offer. But it sounds actually really kind of practical and down to earth, and you seem really down to earth. So it's been great.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, well, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll catch up with you soon anyway.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now I'll do this right for once instead of my normal trick, which is to end the session instead of ending the Skype call. So, thanks ever so much for watching. If you're watching it on catch up, hope it's been useful. I'm have been ignorant about hypnotherapy and what it's used for, but it sounds really useful. I'm very much, everybody's different, aren't they? But I kind of feel very much like if I've got an issue or problem, I'm more about kind of how to fix it and solve it. So it kind of sounds my kind of thing. I like the process and the sort of ideology behind it. But that was Maxine Buckley, and she is going to be offering sessions at 103 Whitecross Street when we reopen from the 12th, but you can also get in touch with her from now. She does stuff, I think she uses Zoom mainly. So if there's anything that you're struggling with, she offers help with a whole range of problems. Today we thought alcohol was particularly pertinent to what's going on out there, but she can help with all kinds of issues, and as you've just seen, she's very kind of easy to talk to and down to earth and all of those things, non-judgmental. So that's Maxine. I'm going to leave you, otherwise I'm going to go into ramble mode. But thank you ever so much for watching. We can't wait to open the doors. We've got working on a brand new look at the clinic, and it looks amazing. So yeah, fingers crossed, and let's hope Boris keeps us on the right track. I'm going to sign off. Thanks ever so much. Bye.